Hi guys, and welcome to Mom Gone Mild. I'm Lex, your host, and as you can tell, I have no one as a guest today. But it's okay. I'm a little nervous, and if you're listening to this on Spotify, you're probably like, what is she talking about? I'm recording right now for YouTube, so let's get into it. I showed up, and that's what matters. All right, so I feel like we are always... we're kind of talking about like some heavy stuff, and of course that's always important. Mental health is a huge thing to me, as you know. But I kind of want to talk about like the positive things that have happened because I keep moving the mic. I told you I'm a little nervous, but I just feel like a lot of people make resolutions and goals for like January 1st. It must be done. But how many of us have actually not started those goals? We might want to, but things happen. Life happens. Life's crazy. Whether you have a new job, whether you have a new baby, whether just your life is just constantly changing. So it's okay. Be graceful with yourself. You don't always have to obviously set goals, but it's not like do or die. Honestly, it'll be okay if you start February 1st, March 1st, Monday, on a Sunday, whatever you choose. And so I kind of just want to celebrate the good things that have happened to me, because I know I've talked in the past about my postpartum anxiety, my postpartum depression, just how it's been really hard on me, kind of getting back to me. And I feel like the movement right now is like, get your pink back. That's kind of why I have everything pink. So basically it means like getting yourself back, getting that self-confidence, trying to achieve it. You might not get it right away, and that's okay. I have days sometimes where it's just my goal is to shower and have a happy baby. And if those two are achieved, I'm fine with it. But I'm more talking about like the bigger achievements that I've done since having Axel. Of course, the first main one is this podcast. I started this podcast because I was really in a dark place. I just kind of wanted to vent, and I just feel like, talking to my friends about it was good, but, also like mom groups really helped me feel like I wasn't alone. So I thought, okay, well, if that's working out for me, maybe someone listens to this podcast and it really helps them throughout their day, throughout their week. This isn't just for moms. I always reiterate that. But yeah, it's for everyone. So let's talk more about those achievements that I've done. You know what? No, I am going to brag because I feel like I came from a really dark place. So today I just kind of want to brag, and you should too. If you have achieved anything, if you haven't achieved anything, fuck it. Just be proud of yourself. You're up. That's all that matters. So like I said, I started this podcast. I have lost 50 pounds since childbirth. Mind you, I was already a little bit of a big girl before, so it's not like I'm super thin skinny. And then I also had the preeclampsia and all that good stuff. So I was like, literally like, I'm a nurse, so edema, but like basically fluid overload, It wasn't like so much that I was like trying to lose weight. It was just, I wanted to get really healthy for Axel because, I'm older, I'm 36. So I know that's not that old, but I feel like for me, I'm like really tired. I make up a lot of excuses as to why I don't walk all the time, why I don't just, I guess, take better care of myself, eating healthier. But now I'm like making those kind of choices, eat healthier, things like that. Definitely I need to exercise more, but little goals first, little goals. So yeah, another huge thing was, I think I've said this in the past, I'm a full-time hospice case manager. So I was really contemplating if I should even go back to work. Of course, this is California. Well, I live in California and it is expensive. So I wish I could be a stay-at-home mom. I no way think that it's easier, but I just love spending time with Axel and it's just been amazing. Honestly, I've been on maternity leave now for 6 months. I know I'm really lucky. I know not everyone has that kind of luxury, but anyways, I am going to start going back to work effective in February. So I'm pretty sad about that. But to be honest, I'm just grateful for the time I had with Axel because I know most people don't have that. And I'm very lucky. And I have a husband that takes care of us. And, it's just very blessed. But I was going to go full time back, doing the 9 to 5 and just, Monday through Friday, but I actually now I'm going to be doing hybrid. So I'm going to be working 3 days in the office, 2 days at home, which is amazing to me because honestly, I couldn't imagine having a job where I work all 5 days of the week and then just see him on the weekends. There's nothing wrong with that. I just know myself and I probably would just be like, peace and like leave. That was just like a hard decision too because I have worked so hard to get where I'm at. I don't know if you know this, but being an LVN, pretty much the highest thing you can be is a case manager. So for me, my career was really important and I just feel like that way I don't lose like that part of myself. Because in motherhood, I've noticed, and of course I can't speak for everyone, but just doing little things for myself really helps me stay grounded. Really helps me kind of not feel that depression anymore, not feel like I'm kind of stuck. And I don't mean it like I'm stuck with my baby. I just mean like I'm stuck with basically not having the same life I had before. And that made me sad because I really worked hard for it. And I'm very career driven. So that was a huge thing for me. There's stuff, some other, honestly, achievements, they can be little. They don't have to be like life-changing experiences or life-changing, but I have really enjoyed cooking. I cook breakfast now. I cook lunch, dinner. I mean, when my friends are over, my favorite thing is to just like host and like make a bunch of food. I made Thanksgiving dinner. I also made Christmas Eve dinner. So when we go on vacation, I love to cook. It's just like, it's so, I don't know. I just love it. Like there's just some kind of relaxation that comes from it. I kind of just lose myself in it because when I cook, I'm very lucky my husband watches Axel. Sometimes, of course, I have to put him in the bouncy, but it's fine. He's such a good boy. But I will say I still hate doing dishes because, listen, although we're making achievements here, it is not a change of life. I've always hated dishes, and I probably always will. Even though I have a dishwasher, I don't care. They gross me out. Same as leftovers, but that just might be me. So, like I said, some days you can be like having the biggest achievements, like getting a new job, getting a raise, just getting a new car, things like that. But sometimes it's just enjoyable to really be in the moment and just listen. I got up, I showered, I put makeup on, I brushed my hair. That's an achievement in itself because sometimes there's days where I don't want to do that. And sometimes I don't, to be honest. I feel like I talk about that all the time. You guys are probably like, she's gross. But Another huge achievement for me was, I talked about this before, but I was really anxious of taking my son out of the house. I mean, poor guy, he needed like vitamin D drops because he wasn't going outside enough. But like now I feel more comfortable with like walking him outside, just driving him. We just recently went to the aquarium, and if you have a baby, he or she will love it. He was like so amazed by everything. I swear in my life, I thought he said, wow, at one point. I'm not making that up. You can ask his dad. And it just feels like moments, sometimes we need to just slow down. I feel like we're always trying to achieve the next goal, do things, but sometimes it's okay to just live in that exact moment. All right, so this is a huge one for me. This year, I have goals, but I also feel like I want to change my lifestyle because I want to start living with intention. And intention basically is like have a meaning for what you do. Like I will intentionally buy this clothes for this, but not because I want to splurge or anything like that. Creating small goals instead of like creating such a big thing out of them. Letting a good day actually be a good day. Like I said, just living in the moment, and all my actions, I just want to release that negativity. I want to approach things in more of a positive way because unfortunately I can be a little negative. I feel like all of us can. It's easy to get into that kind of headspace as opposed to like you have to physically think, no, I know that this is a negative situation, but how can I make this into a positive? And I feel like that's a huge thing for me, especially with, everything that I've gone through in the past. It's just easier, obviously, for me to think like negative about situations, but definitely positivity is a huge thing for me this year. I feel like the other thing I said was like, it's a big one, but this is a huge one for me. So I have always had a lot of friends. I've always been like a very social person. And, like being social, you get a lot of friends. Some of them, are around for a long time, forever. But some are just here for, a season, as they say. And maybe that was like the reason for them being there. And it's okay for me to start letting go of some people. I feel like that's a huge thing. I always try to like keep everyone close, but sometimes you just gotta like let them go, especially if they're not really making an effort. I feel that way honestly about everyone. It's not just friends, it's family could be like that too. It can just be like, I don't know. I just feel like I want to pour in all my energy and love towards the people that show me it. And it's okay. Like, you grow up, you realize, people are in different stages of life and it doesn't matter. I mean, like my friends and my family were like important to me in that specific time, obviously for a reason, because they were there for me. But it's okay to grow and just basically expand your wings, make new friends, things like that. Focus on people that really check in on you like weekly, monthly. Honestly, I'm not a type to be like, well, to my best friends, of course, but like if you like randomly like message me on IG or like my stuff, it's honestly, like that to me is like reaching out because showing that you care. And it's like, if you don't, that's fine too. I mean, there's no like right or wrong in friendships. Sometimes, it just wasn't made to last. And I'm learning that that's okay. So, like I said, like I don't want a crowded life of people that aren't willing to give me time or space in their life. So let's talk about goals for 2026. I know it's like February and you guys are like, what the heck? It's already been a month. But like I said, I'm starting my goals now and that's fine. You can start your goals at any time. It's not a big thing. Like everyone feels like, oh, it's New Year's Eve. You got to do it. You got to do it now. Whatever. I do it when I want, when I feel like it, when I feel like I can actually achieve them instead of, set this goal for myself and then break it. Because I feel like that's even worse than even starting the goal. It's just like the disappointment that you feel when you don't achieve it or when you just like quit. So definitely, I want to lose like another, 40 pounds. And I feel like I'll be comfortable in my skin, because obviously right now, like I have like a mom bod, and that's okay, but I just want to be healthier for Axel and like not get tired when I go on hikes and just like or big walks. Like there's a hill by my house that I'm like dying at. What I really want to do this year is I want to run in a 5K. Have I ever ran? No, not even on the treadmill, because one time I did, and I think I lasted maybe 6 seconds, and I was like twisting my ankle. It's a joke when I run, but I feel like this year, I feel like a 5K is doable, because you can either walk it or run it, and I'm not like going to like do like a triathlon or something like that. So I want to set realistic goals for myself. I don't want to set myself up and be like, I'm gonna be, doing like a huge marathon. Like I already know I'm not going to do that, but a 5K I feel like is very doable. So another thing, I feel like a lot of people have tried this and done it, and they have amazing results. So me and my husband, we're going to start 75 hard in March. And why did I wait this long? You might ask, like, why didn't you start in January? Why don't you start in February? Well, because there's a lot of things going on. I already know his birthday is coming up, Valentine's Day, we're going to Disneyland. I already know, like, I'm not going to be able to stick to no diet or not have a drink if I want to. But after that, I feel like, like there are things still going on, but I still want to, achieve it. And I just want to complete 75 hard, because I know for a fact, like a lot of people have told me, like it sucks to restart, because once you mess up one day, it's like you have to start all over from day one. And I want to see those results. You guys look amazing when you do it. So I want to post a little before and after. And yeah, so another big thing that I want to achieve this year is we go on like little trips here and there, but I really want a vacation. I feel like a vacation with Axel would be so fun. Just maybe like maybe like going to Mexico, to a nice resort, or like Hawaii would be amazing, something like that. And yeah, I mean, that's one of my goals for this year. So we kind of talked about like goals that kind of involve other people, but personal growth is big as well. So I want to basically practice more self-love, and like realize like how worthy of love that I am. Every day I feel like is a struggle for me, because sometimes I feel like, am I good enough? Have I done that right? I'm just always doubting myself, and I just want to be okay with the decisions that I make. And yeah, I did have a good day, and yeah, I was kick-ass in something, and just be, like I said, more present. 2026 to me personally isn't about being perfect. It's about growing and my personal journey. My personal journey also involves like my friends, my family, my husband, my baby. I feel like being present is the goal this year for sure. And another thing is like, I don't want to have guilt. I am trying my hardest, because I already feel guilty that I'm going back to work, even though it's 3 days a week. But I just feel guilty that I have to leave my son. And although he's going to be staying with my mother-in-law, which she's great and everything, but, I wish I could be there for every kind of moment he has, every day to day, but it is what it is. Like I said, I don't want to feel guilty about that. And I feel like going in a hybrid will definitely help that situation. And yeah, you guys are like, what is she doing? I have notes. So because it is a solo podcast, let me tell you, it is really difficult because I had been doing solo on like Spotify, Amazon, Apple, but doing it on YouTube is a whole different thing. And you guys are probably like, what is this girl doing? Look, I have mom brain, okay? So I don't remember some things. And if I don't have this laptop, I literally will just go rambling, just like I'm doing now. So if you're listening and enjoying this podcast, you can find Mom Gone Mild on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. And if you actually want to see my day-to-day, which I post a lot more now, and if you guys follow me, I will post way more on Instagram and TikTok. So my name on Instagram is momgonemild_podcast. The same as my TikTok, momgonemild_podcast. And yeah, so if there's anything that you guys kind of want to chat about, hey, I'm looking always for guests. So if you want to message me and be like, let me go on, girl, because here's your seat and it's waiting for you. But, I also have some exciting news. I decided this podcast is always on a Monday at 6 a.m. But I feel like on a Monday at 6 a.m., people are just like, damn, Sunday Scaries just happened. The last thing I want to do is hear this girl talking about fun stuff, fun life. But we are officially moving to Thursdays. And I just feel like Thursdays is like, you're not in weekend mode yet, but you're starting to get in weekend mode. And yes, I know. I also get excited for the weekend and I live for the weekend, and now going back to work, I'm super excited for the weekend. So mark your calendars because every Thursday morning I'll be dropping a new episode. Also, if you're listening and you're in a hard season at the moment, this episode isn't meant to rush you. Like I always say, this is when I'm talking about this, it's about me. It has nothing to do with like where you should be in life. If you're just achieving a happy baby, happy life, you pay rent, you pay the mortgage on time. It's just like you're exactly where you're meant to be. And these kind of just also, I hope that this kind of episode shows you that it's okay to celebrate the little achievements in life. We all have them. And if you don't, and you just feel like, damn, I should be at a different stage in life, we are all there. I've been there, and I promise it gets better. And as always, my DMs are open if you want to talk. If you survived today, I'm really proud of you. All right, we'll see you on Thursdays at 6 a.m. Bye.